Confined space levels. A level 1 confined space is considered immediately dangerous to life and health, or IDLH. It's a level 1 entry if it's the first or initial entry, or basically if you don't know the hazards. The oxygen concentration is outside the safe zone for a level 1 confined space. And the safe zone for oxygen is in between that 19.5 and 23%. So if it's less than 19.5% oxygen, which is oxygen deficient, or greater than 23% oxygen, which is oxygen enrichment, then it's a level 1 confined space. It is also a level 1 confined space if there exists a flammable or explosive substance in a concentration between 10 and 20% of its lower explosive limit. The lower explosive limit is when there is a concentration of a substance enough to support combustion. Over 20% of the LEL of anything, and then you can't go in that space to work. But again, it's a level 1 confined space if the LEL is between 10 and 20%. Now, if the area atmosphere in the confined space exceeds the protective limits of air purifier respirator, so you'd have to go to supplied air to protect you from that toxic substance, then the confined space would also be considered level 1. Now, a level 2 confined space is much safer. A confined space will be considered a level 2 if all the identified hazards are controlled and the oxygen concentration is in that safe zone, so in between 19.5 and 23%. It will also be considered a level 2 confined space if there exists or is likely to exist a flammable or explosive atmosphere greater than 1% and less than 10%. So, if the LEL is greater than 20%, you can't go in that space to work. If the LEL is in between 10 and 20%, then it's a level 1. And if it's between 1 and 10%, then it's a level 2. Now, if there exists or is likely to exist a concentration of a toxic substance that exceeds 50% of its OEL, or occupational exposure limit, but still within the limits of air purifier respirator, then it's a level 2. Okay, level 3s. A level 3 is even more safe. A confined space will be considered a level 3 if all of the identified hazards are controlled and the potential for change is unlikely, and the oxygen concentration is in that safe zone between 19.5 and 23%. And for a level 3 confined space, the concentration of a flammable or explosive gases is less now than 1% of the LEL. And the concentration of any known toxic substance is less than 50% of its OEL or occupational exposure limit. Log on and prosper, everybody.